my Labour Party colleagues in the Dáil introduced a motion today calling for the state to urgently adopt a well overdue, compassionate and health-led public approach to drug use. While the Government has promised over the years to pursue a health-led approach, it's failed to put this into effect. All over our country, small villages, small towns, cities, people are struggling with problem drug use, addiction and need support and not be cast into the throes of the criminal justice system. We all know friends, families, members that are affected by addiction, and nobody can argue that the current policy on drugs is working. It's time we took problem drug use out of the courts and offer support to people who need it. Criminalising, shaming and stigmatising people in addiction leads to a system that undermines and dehumanises those who need our support, care and compassion, and it's time to change it. Our motion today, and I went in to watch it, and the Government or the Minister said that she would support it, recalls the Citizen Assembly on drug use and the ongoing work of the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Drug Use, both of which have recognised that criminalisation is not working. Other countries all across Europe have shown us that direction that progressive drugs policies can work. Portugal, we know, over 20 years ago, took the brave step to decriminalise personal possession, which resulted in fewer deaths, more people in treatment, and overall rates of drug use actually fell below the EU average. Portugal chose health over punishment, and I think we need to adopt the same approach here. And it shows that it does. This evidence of what Portugal have done shows us that it does work. Drug use in Ireland is changing. Cocaine, for example, is now the most common drug treated in Ireland, accounting for 40% of all treatment cases in 2024, and crack cocaine is rife around our cities. It's not okay that we just continue to, I suppose, throw young people into the throes of the criminal justice system. And I think this is the message behind Labour's drug motion is simple: to take drug use out of the courts and replace an ethos of crime and punishment with one of health and humanity. This will free up the courts and are much resource-guarded time that they can deal with serious crime like violent crime, and services that are treating young people and people struggling with addiction on the ground to receive multi-annual funding and supported frontline services. While the use of banned drugs is fairly spread evenly across all sections of society, in contrast, drug law enforcement targets poor and disadvantaged users, and our prisons are full of young people from poor, disadvantaged communities caught up in the illegal drug trade. Their drug conviction commends them to a lifetime of difficulty gaining employment, housing, community participation, insurance, relationships and travel. 70% of the state's prison population report having addiction issues. The figure is 85% of women, which indicates that they should not be in prison. What drug reform does means that young people or anyone are not criminalised, are less likely to overdose, less likely to be poisoned by contaminants and more likely to seek help if needed. Among so many young people, addiction is presenting a problem, but the real, and I know this from Woodworth, underlying issues that need to be addressed often precede drug use, like trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, exclusion from school, not being looked after, incarceration, poverty, neglect. I could go on. Anyway, our communities deserve better, young people deserve better, and I hope that, that this motion that my colleagues in the Dáil is going to be supported. Thank you.